BWatts Entertainment. I'm your host, Bernard Watt.
Wizard.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, you're watching Sports Talk with BWatts Entertainment. I'm your host, Bernard Watt, on this Saturday evening, along with RobDaManMedia Coach Drake and Stephen Woodson. And also, I'm bringing up a guest tonight from the BuffZone himself. That's right, bringing up my main man, Brian Howell. We're going to talk about the Saturday game between Colorado and Nebraska. I want to thank our sponsor tonight for being a sponsor of Sports Talk with BWatts Entertainment. That's the Marist Bank and Tall Flooring. Hey, if y'all don't mind, if you need a checking account, saving account, or a CD or a loan, call Marist Bank 770-775-8300. All right, let's see. Let me get the guys up.
Yo.
What's going on, Rob?
Good, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Yes, sir.
Coach Dre. See. Bringing up my man. Okay. Well, it's a job here. What's going on, fellas?
How's it going?
Everybody doing all right?
Yes, sir.
Brian, can you hear me? Brian, can you hear me?
Hey, can you
Brian,
guys
can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can
Okay,
hear you loud.
now we hear that. Welcome to the Sports Talk with BWatts
can you hear
Entertainment
me?
along with RobDaManMedia. Yeah, hear you. Yeah, we hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? All right, good. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Colorado played Nebraska Saturday. They lost. We 1-1. I still got some good things I want to say, and I got some things that I'm concerned about that what I saw. But on the other end, I'm still rocking with Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffalo, just a second game. And we got a long season ahead, but there are some things that I'm concerned about. Starting with you, Coach Drake. Tell me some of the things that what you saw and what happened in the game on Saturday.
I mean, we had opportunities, and you gotta make the best out of opportunities. We gotta on that first drive, I think we could have got a first down if LeJohntay catches that pass. So it's just opportunities that we missed. I told some people yesterday that they felt good about their front seven. Nebraska feels good about their front seven, and that's what they were gonna do. They were gonna rush and just hope that they could get home and that the DBs wouldn't have to guard people long, and that's what they did. The defense did what they were supposed to do. I'm very impressed with Livingston again. He went in at halftime, made adjustments, came back out the second half, and did his thing. Offensively, we know we saw some things that we need to work on. Some things that I've been concerned about from the jump. And we've talked about them on many different occasions. But at the end of the day, I'll say this again: college football is the only place where you don't have a preseason, you don't have a kickoff classic, you don't have anything. So these first few games, you're trying to get yourself acclimated to the game, and that's what we saw. And then as a football coach, guys, I'm gonna just tell you, some days you go out there and you don't got it. And it just looked like we just didn't have it yesterday. So, yes, I'm concerned about some things, but I saw some good things that make me feel good. And like I said, I ain't going to never leave my porch on how I feel in my stance. But it's some things we definitely got to work on. No doubt about it.
All right, Rob.
Man, being here in Nebraska, just like Brian Howell, I mean, you got to see it. We just didn't have it on offense. Defense, they stepped up. When you look at this defense, really, they gave up 14 points. This game was more on the offense end. When they came out the tunnel, the first two plays was just right there and then and there. It told you how this game was finna go. I don't care how you want to slice and dice this game. The offense just put the defense in bad positions, but the defense overall, Nebraska didn't really draw the ball on Colorado. They had 2 good series on the entire game, but for the majority of the time, the defense was holding them to 3 and outs, or they get a first down, we get off the field. So the defense stepped up. You gotta give credit to Robert Livingston for the job that he did, because this team last year, this has probably been a 50, 60-point game blowout. So for them to hold them to 0 in the second half, a hats off to Robert Livingston. But the way we played the second half, how we make a second half adjustment, we got to make that in the first half now. We can't keep waiting back into the second half to make adjustments. We got to make them adjustments first half, and let's start to eliminate it. Offensive wise, there's some things on this offensive line we got to fix. That's just the bottom truth, what it is, right? It's time. We got to see what we got to see. But this week, it's on Prime, it's on Pat Shermer, and it's on Phil Longhost. This is their time. Make the adjustments, and we're gonna see what this team's gonna look like. Like I've been saying, you got to give it at least 4 games to start to really tell what this team really gonna be, right? Just because there is a grace period from the first 3 or 4 games to make adjustments. So my 4 game, once they get to that 4th game, that's when you're gonna really get to know what this team's gonna look like.
All right, Steve. Before we bring up our guest, go ahead.
I would like to say that what a day. What a day. What a night. It's one of those nights that you look at and you say, man, what if? But that doesn't get the job done. What I will tell the people in podcast land is this here. The season is still bright. The season, we still can achieve everything we want to achieve. But this is where I'm going to put the big but in. Everybody needs to put the chips in the middle of the table, and everybody needs to be all in. All that talking and everything else, we need to come to this here point. Either you're going to show up or you need to get out. That's it. Who's in it with us? Because I'm not going to go here and say, oh, they did this here. No, the offense didn't show up. It's one person showed up for the offense last night, and that was 12. That was Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter showed up last night. Travis Hunter, every week, you know what you're going to get for Travis Hunter. You cannot have people who are saying they're going to the NFL, and this is getting real. You're not going to the NFL if you're not consistent. You got 4 other receivers that everybody says that could be NFL talent. If you're NFL talent, you can't get 200 yards in one game and 30 in the next. It doesn't work like that. The NFL does not work like that. The NFL needs to know when you show up, you're going to get me Travis Hunter every night. You're going to get 80 to 110 yards every night. If Travis is there, that you know you're getting that. And what I'm asking the other players is this one here. If you want to be him, if you want to increase your markability, it's up to you. Turn out everything else, quit reading the headlines, and perform. Perform. I'm not putting that on the coaches. I'm gonna put it on both. My performance is for coaches and players. The coaches got to do better, and the players got to do better. And we need to be honest about that. Both of them has improvement, and I think they are going to do the improvements. And we're going to see it starting with whooping CSU.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Hey, we got a guest tonight. We got the man.
Before you get to the biggest disappointment, and I'm just flat out being honest. To know that you play in Nebraska and living in Colorado and you didn't take this rivalry game serious, that was the freaking biggest disappointment of this entire game. The lack of day school to not know this is a rivalry game and how much this means to Colorado and the fan base, that's the biggest disappointment. But go ahead.
All right, anybody else before I go to McGee? Coach Dre? Steve? All right, y'all good. All right, hey, got a guest on the panel tonight. We stopped to Brian. I'm glad he joined the panel. Welcome to Sports Talk with BWatts Entertainment. Brian Howell to the panel. He's a beat writer for BuffZone. He does an excellent job. I read up on his stuff and the things that he have been doing since he's been covering Colorado. You do an excellent job. I wish you well and continue to do the things that you do. You do a good job. So, to you, I give the panel to you. What happened to see you against Nebraska?
Well, thanks for having me, guys. And first off, I'm going to start with where Rob left off, and he's exactly right, is that sometimes we say this in sports, but that game meant more to Nebraska than it did to Colorado last night. You could tell. You walk into that. I think Rob said you were there, but that atmosphere, you could tell it meant more to Nebraska, and Colorado didn't answer the bell. I mean, Nebraska played like a team that had lost to its rivals 3 straight times and had not beaten them in 14 years. They played like a team that wasn't going to have that anymore, and Colorado didn't answer the bell. Coach Trey made some great points too, and that they had opportunities still. There was plenty of opportunities. LeJohntay catches that pass. It's a different first series. They make that 4th and 1 when it's only 7-0. It's a different game, right? They don't throw the pick 6 when it's only 7-0. It's a different game. But they did those things, and I think bottom line for me is they just didn't answer the bell, and I don't think this is I don't think there's big problems that are going to carry over into a lot of other games, but there are some things that are concerning from last night. But there's things you can take from it that are positive too. Defensively, some of my colleagues we were talking about after the game, if you would have said Nebraska's going to finish with 334 yards and only 21 points on offense, you'd say Colorado's going to win that game, right? But They didn't. Nebraska actually, believe it or not, Nebraska had more yards of offense last year in the 36-14 loss to Colorado than they had last night. Right. So the defense showed up, but the offense, that's what was concerning to me, was that the offense just did nothing. And the biggest concern I have coming out of that game is no run game, and the offensive line looks maybe slightly better than last year, but not enough better.
Good point, everybody. All right. We're going to pick up where you just left off on the offensive line and the run game. What do Colorado and Coach Prime need to do to assure that part of the offense up, Coach Dre?
Let me start this off. Coach Dre. Let's just go ahead and rip this Band-Aid off of this. It's not what Coach Prime, what Pat Shermer, what anybody else want to do. It's got to be the offensive line got to want to do it. They got to say, hey, the hell with this. Let's run the ball. Run behind me. Somebody on this line's got to have a heartbeat to say, enough of this. Let's run the ball. We got to start with this. What Coach Prime got to do, what Pat Sherman got to do. If the offensive line don't want to take it, we ain't going to run the ball. That's it. We got to have an attitude on this offensive line to say, we want to run the ball. That's just point blank, period. I'm just tired of this notion of what Coach Prime got. Listen, the issue of the matter is, if the offensive line don't want to run the ball, we're not going to run the ball. If they're not going to bring an attitude and a demeanor about themselves, it ain't going to happen. That's just the point blank proof. You got to commit and you got to want to do this. It can't be a selective, I'm going to do it this play and I'm not going to do it that. It's got to be a want to. It's got to be some nastiness to it. It's got to be some physicality to it. And that's what you're not seeing. That's just point blank period. Let's just go ahead and rip it off. Go ahead, Coach Dre.
Hold on, Coach Dre. Let me try this one more time. Coach Dre, what do Coach Prime, he's the head coach. He hired an offensive coordinator. He's in charge of the offense. He's in charge of everything that goes along with Colorado. Once again, what do Coach Prime and his coaching staff, Steve, Brian, and Dre, and the panel, got to do to get this thing right? Because it's starting it's starting to look like last year. Go ahead, Coach Dre.
I think Brian hit it on the head. We are slightly better. I said this a few months ago, maybe 3, and people said, no, we don't need to do this. But it comes down to we got to get our best 5 on the field. Our best 5 right now, I think, is Tyler Brown at center. I don't care who's the other guard, whether it's Benson or Johnson, but one of them at the guard, the other one at the tackle. And the left side's still good. I still like Mears, and I still like the young Seaton. But I think that's our best 5 right now. If I'm going into this week, I think that's what I'm going on. I love Hank. But I think he needs help, and when the guard is thinking about helping the center more than he's thinking about doing his job, that's a little helpful. So if you know what, if I'm them this week, I go in and say, hey, listen, it's an open competition. It's an open competition for a few positions up here on up front, and we gonna fix it that way. again, they didn't play bad last week. This week, again, they felt good about their front seven, and they showed it. They just feel good about their front seven. And then, like you say, you gotta put an emphasis on running the ball, because right now people just pinning their ears back and coming. Nobody's
Right.
thinking about the run. They're just pinning their ears back and they're coming. So
Right.
it's like I said, we just got to find our best. We got to find our best five, and we gotta go with that. Whatever that is, we got to find our best five.
Good point. Good point. Steve, then we'll go to Brian.
If you look at it, Colorado really got an advantage now because no one respects their running game. If no one respects their running game, you can take that and use that as an advantage. And people look at them like they probably looking crazy. What do you mean by that? If all they're going to do is pin their ears back and rush in there trying to sack two, you can set your offense up to say, hey, since they're doing that, let's do these things to counteract that. And then once we get in that groove and slow that rush down, then we get into let's get some schemes together. Instead of putting 4 people back there, receivers, let's go to 3. Let's put a tight end in there. I'm old Dallas Cowboys. If you can't run it with that, let's get 2 tight ends up there and 2 receivers. If you can't do it with that, let's get 1 receiver. It's plenty of things you can do. Now, I'll tell you and I'll tell anyone else. The Air Force Academy runs the football. The Navy runs the football. The Army runs the football. Every other team I see pretty much out there running the football. When those other players, Tyler Johnson, Benson, and Mayers and everybody else played with their old teams, Indiana and the other teams that they were on, they ran the football. They didn't stop learning how to run the football. The emphasis is this. When you put your foot in somebody's tail and say, hey, this is what we're going to do, and if the score is 21-3, you still stick with the run. Bill Belichick, we were in the Super Bowl 28-3, 28-3, third quarter. We still ran the football and won the Super Bowl. We won it because the other team just thought they were cute. Shanahan them wanted to throw the ball. Kyle wanted to throw the ball instead of running the ball. He'd had a Super Bowl, but they got cute. But my point is this. You have to put emphasis on running the football when you're up by 21 or you're down by 21. And the next thing I would do is this here, and this will help the team tremendously. Get all of the pressure off 2. Quit saying every week 2 has to save the team. He doesn't. You got 22 players, and it's a team that's going to save the Colorado Buffaloes. Stop with the 2's going to save the world. Jesus did that. We already got that. 2 is going to do his part. He's going to be a main key and ensuring that CU gets wins the game. But let's start putting the emphasis on the defense, which will in turn, and the offensive line. It's up to the offensive line, defensive line to do their job and keep it moving. Sorry about that, fellas.
No, I'm gonna finish before we go to Brian. So this is what truly needs to happen, right? When you seen us go to the pistol formation last night, we had success running the ball. You seen us have a good yardage run. You seen what we can do. You seen them start to move the pocket, move Shador outside the pocket. Some of the things that they implemented last night they had success with, let's take that into next week, right? Let's build on it because we did have successful plays running the ball. We just ain't running enough. So get us into some pistol formations. Get Shador Sanders outside the pocket where he doesn't have to keep Jordan inside the pocket. Make the game easy, right? Get him some easy throws to get him in rhythm. That's one of the things that hurts the most is that we're not doing the simple things, the basic things, right? What do you do with a rookie quarterback, right? You roll him out, you give him a side of field to get him in rhythm, to get the defense flowing one way and come back another way, misdirection, right? We just got to play simple, sound football, the basics, and everything else will be all right.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, all you guys make some good points, and I'm going to start with what Coach Ray was talking about with getting the best 5. One thing I will say about Tyler Brown, I know I chatted with him, a few weeks ago. He has not been working at center, and so I would caution on that one if he hasn't been working at it. I think that can be dangerous. But one thing I will say is that what did Tyler Brown always play? Guard. What did Khalil Benson always play? Tackle. And so right now they're switched, and I would maybe start there and look at maybe that combination again. Look at Tyler Johnson again. Look at Cardell Thomas, who came in late last month. But I agree with the competition. The other thing I will say is that I talked to an offensive lineman that played for the Denver Broncos under Mike Shanahan, and he said, Mike Shanahan understood you don't have to be successful running the ball in the first and second quarters. You just have to be committed to it because you need to be able to run it in the fourth. Colorado does not commit to it. Last night, out of 32 offensive snaps in the first half, 4 were design runs. That's it. And I know, yes, you're down, but again, like somebody said, it doesn't matter. You still got to run the football because then when you try to run it when you have to, you can't. And one thing of this, I just think this offensive line needs an opportunity. I'm not sure they're this bad. I think that they need an opportunity. Offensive linemen love to run block more than pass block. And I think that you need to give them an opportunity to be dogs that you say they are. Let them go out early in the game and be aggressive rather than backpedaling right from the start. I think that they can get in a rhythm and be aggressive early from the start. And then I think they might be able to get into some rhythm running the ball. And another thing is the running backs. Dallin Hayden had 5 carries last night. There's been one time in 14 games under Coach Prime that a running back has had more than 13 carries in a game. That's it. And that's not letting a running back get in rhythm. And, I covered Phil Lindsay when he was here. He was fantastic. And he and other backs always told me, I need some carries to get into a rhythm. Because you may only get 3, 2, 4, 1 your first 4 carries, but then that 5th carry is 11, 12. And then you might go 3, 2, 9. The guys that get 100 yards, they're going to have 12 carries that are not big runs, but you're going to have 3 or 4 that are big runs. But you're not even giving them a chance to have those runs. We saw a nice one from Dallin Hayden last night. Give him 15 carries, you're going to see 3 or 4 of those runs.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of things that need to be fixed, but the bottom line to me is a commitment to the run, which we have not seen in 14 games under Coach Prime.
Hey, B. Watts, can I add this? You know what happens when you run the ball? 2 doesn't get hit. You never see quarterbacks get hit when they running the ball. You can also save your quarterback. If you don't want to get him hit, run the ball.
That's a good point.
And I want to add one other thing is that it's fascinating to me that Coach Prime has not developed a running game here at Colorado. There's a lot of talk. I don't believe this, but there's a lot of talk that they're trying to pad Shedeur Sanders' stats. I don't believe that. But look at Coach Prime's history. He played for the Dallas Cowboys. Who did they have? A Hall of Fame quarterback and Emmitt Smith, right? He played for the San Francisco 49ers, won a Super Bowl with a Hall of Fame quarterback and a pretty good running game. I don't remember if it was Roger Craig or Ricky Waters, but it was a pretty good running game. Right?
Waters.
Was it Waters? Yeah. He played with the Ravens. They run the football. He's at Jackson State. Savion Wilkerson was a 1,100-yard back. So he knows what it looks like when you've got a good running game. So it stuns me that they just haven't really been committed to it.
That's a good point, brother. All right, let's look at the defensive side. For 2 straight games in the second half, they've been lights out. Why they can't get it together in the first half? I think somebody on the panel made a suggestion that instead of waiting to make changes, I think that was Coach Ray, your Rob said that why make changes in the second half? Why not do it in the first half if you see how it's going, Coach Ray?
I mean, right now, I think you're gonna see some changes. I think you're gonna see more Hill Green. I think you're gonna see more JB. You won't have Shiloh probably for the rest of the season. So somebody else gonna have to fill that role at safety, which I like Riley or Herman. It don't really make me no difference. I like Stoudemire as well. We got to stay on. We got to have drives on offense. I don't think the defense is actually playing bad in the first half. I just think they on the field a lot in the first half. Like they say, we ran 30 something plays in the first half. You get what I'm saying? So they were on the field a lot. And when you're not getting that kind of break, and again, you're not getting a chance to even get over there and talk to your coach. By the time you get down and sit down and drink you some water, and you get down and sit down and try to talk, we back on the field. So, like you say, offense got to help the defense some, because I just think we're playing a lot of snaps on defense right now. But hey, you got to give your hats off to that defensive staff. from Lewis, the Sapp, the Hart,
Right.
Mathis, and the coordinator. You have to take your hats off to what they're doing. And defense wins championships. So that's why I'm still in great spirits about Colorado. Like Brian said, I just think again, that's why I don't never jump on him, because I know he knows what it looks like. He had like when people say, "Oh, he don't want to run, he want to pad." No, he's not trying to pad no stats. He had 1,000-yard rusher plus. I think the other kid had something like 500 yards on top of what Savion had that year at Jackson. So he knows
Okay.
what it is. And I also agree
But
with y'all.
Coach Dre,
My son plays offensive.
Coach Dre, they threw the ball, I think, the first 13 plays.
Again, most of those plays are scripted. I'm not gonna tell people no lies. Most plays are scripted. That first row, but after you see certain stuff, sometimes you have to switch it. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, for most, and I coach offense, they're scripted. But Brian said some real stuff. My son plays offensive line. He'll tell, if I go get him out the house right now and bring him to the thing, you ask him what he want to do. Oh, I want to run block. I want to run block.
Right.
I want to hit somebody in the face first. So most offensive linemen, that's what they want to do. They want to hit people in the face. So I do agree with Brian. I think we need to get that aggression that they have and move forward first before they have to worry about trying to backpedal and gap hinge and all that other stuff. Because when you're running the ball, it's not as much thinking as you have to do when you passing the ball, because you got to try to, especially when and right now, guys, I'm just being honest with y'all. If y'all really looking at football, they're sitting more than you can block. When you in 4 wide,
Yeah.
they're sitting more than you can
Right.
block. Those guys
Right.
can't. If you sit in 7 and we only got 5, it's 2 people free.
Yeah, I know.
It's 2 people free.
When you look at his defense, I mean, they're getting their job done. Coach Ray hit it right there in the head. When you look at the first half, we're spending too much time on defense and not enough time on offense and putting long drives together. That's really what the main issue is. When we put drives together on offense, our defense comes back fresh and they play with a different edge. But we have to start to stack possessions together when they're 10 and 12, 14 play drives. That's where our real main issue is right now, offensive wise. We can't stack drives and plays together to keep our defense fresh. Is when our defense is fresh and they're not substituting a lot on defense, because if I don't think you guys noticed, like being at the game, they substitute a lot more in the first half than they do the second half. The second half, they find a rhythm of guys and they don't substitute as much. You kind of know, all right, this is who's playing and this who's not. This who got it going and this who ain't got it going. So the first half is they're making a lot of substitution patterns and adjustments in the first half versus the second half. They just went they made the adjustment. This who's playing. Now you know who's playing. And so that's more, we just got to get off the field on third down situations. And this offense has to help the defense by having long play drives.
Yeah, I'll just say with Livingston, I love the fact he's making halftime adjustments that we're seeing that are major, and I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass in that we got to remember he's a first-time coordinator, and
Right.
I think he's going to grow in this, and with him, the first half struggles. Maybe it's him as a coordinator feeling things out in the first half, but he figures it out, and we've seen plenty of coordinators that don't figure it out, and it's an issue for 3-4 quarters, and so week 1 was a unique situation. You're playing a North Dakota State team that you had no real film on, right? It's a head coach you've never seen before. He figured it out. Really, it started middle of the second quarter, so it didn't even take till halftime. They started figuring it out then. Last night, I think it was just kind of a snowball of a lot of different things. You're behind the 8 ball a lot. I think they were you don't have a lot of film on this young quarterback, and I'm making excuses maybe, but I just think Livingston, I love what I've seen out of him in 2 weeks, and I can give a little bit of a pass on some first half struggles because we've seen plenty of coordinators that don't ever make those adjustments, and it's just 3-4 quarters of struggles. And so 27 points a game through 2 weeks, I'll take that for the entire season, because I said before the year, if this defense gives up 27, 28 points a game, they're going to win a lot of football games. And they gave the offense a shot to win that game last night. They just didn't do it.
What?
Well, this is what I have to say about it. I have to give kudos to Livingston. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna give kudos to Livingston. This is the reason why. I watched both of those games. And in the first half, Livingston wouldn't have had to make any kind of changes if they wouldn't have had late hits in the game, personal foul hitting in the game. If you got a 3rd and 15, them 3rd and 15s when you're supposed to get off of the field, they do some stuff that you like, come on now. They didn't teach you how to do that. We can go to the Nebraska game. They didn't give up really 7 points because that interception should have been Bentley at the touchdown that they got, and 2 gave up a touchdown. So, and even with the other touchdown, I will tell people, submit to people, when he threw that ball across his body 35, 40 yards, those are plays that the defense should have a play on that one. But I'll divert. But me saying this is this here. The defense is going to be their strength. By the 6th, I'm telling you, if you really look at it, if the offense was playing like they supposed to, we'd be undefeated. Period.
Right.
Because
Right.
the defense is doing what you're supposed to do. If that defense, Brian, you hit it 1,000%. If I would have told anybody that the defense only gave up 21 points, really, just say 14, because I ain't that should have been Bentley. That interception was an interception. I still can't get over that one. But with that being said, they scored 21 points. If you're scoring 21 points with the offense that we have, I don't care what kind of offensive line we got. We were in inside the 10-yard line 3 times. 3 times. And didn't get nothing. So, well, really 4 if you look at the end of the game, 4 times and got 7 points. You can't do that. And then the 4th and 1, the 3rd and 1. So who puts a quarterback? If you're going to do the quarterback sneak, put the dude in, the big quarterback Taylor in the game where he can take hits and go from there. Don't put Shador doing the quarterbacks. I don't do that. But I'll leave that alone. I'll divert back to the defense is a strong point. And I think, me personally, I just think we should put more pressure on the defense and quit trying to say the offense got to score every time. The offense, you make a defense feel good when you let them know we need you. We need you to be that stopper. And they have a defense that's a stopper.
All right. When I look at the defense, I'm surprised, Brian. I'm gonna start with you, that Colorado can't put pressure on the quarterback with the talent they have without sacrificing the back end. When I look at BJ Green, when you look at all the edge rushers they have, I'm just surprised that they can't put more pressure on the quarterback they have played in these last 2 games.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that's the one concern I have with the defense is we thought there was going to be more QB pressure with the guys they brought in with BJ Green and the 2 guys from Pitt. Arden Walker's a year older. Week 1, I think, was kind of tough because you had to worry about that quarterback run. And, you can be vulnerable if you pin your ears back and try to go after them. You didn't have to worry about that on Saturday night against Nebraska. Raiola is not a runner.
Right.
He had one big run, but he's not a runner. And so that was surprising that they didn't get to him at all. The one time they really hit him, BJ Green was, got called for a penalty, which was a stupid penalty. That wasn't a penalty in my opinion, but but yeah, I think that's one of those things that they'll get figured out and that they'll add to the repertoire on defense. It is concerning 2 games in, but I think they're going to have some opportunities to do that this week against Colorado State because I think it's going to be a weaker offensive line they're facing and a quarterback that can sit in the pocket. So they should have opportunities. If they don't get any sacks this weekend, I'd worry a little bit.
All right, I'm gonna stay with you right here. I got one more question for you. You was there at the game, right?
Yeah.
You and Robert. Did the crowd affect the offense, y'all think, and the defense? Was it real loud? Was the atmosphere crazy like people had said it was gonna be to you and Rob?
I would say no, but I do think it affected the psyche of some of the players. And Coach Prime and Shador even alluded to it. Maybe
Yeah, that's how I was looking. I heard him in the press conference.
Yeah, and might have been Cam alluded to it too, but like some of the guys didn't seem ready for the moment. And I think that's a concern too.
You said LeJohn wasn't ready for the moment. They rise to the occasion.
But I'll say too, that's as tough of an environment as they're going to ever be in. I mean, that's my third CU Nebraska game up in Lincoln, and that is the most insane environment I've covered a game in. So that's a tough one to go into, but the guys weren't ready for it. I don't think it affected the operation. I just think it maybe affected some of the guys.
Okay. What do you think, Rod?
I'm right there with Brian. I don't think it affected them offensively or defensively. It like Shador said, and some of them just the big lights hit them, right? And then the moment was too bright for them. When you walk in and you see 90,000 people in the stadium and it's filled with red, it's that's just the nature of the game. But what Prime always say, hey, you can say you a dog, this, that, and the third, but when the lights turn on and it's time to show up, we gonna find out who you are. So I think they got opportunity to find out who's who and who ain't. But when you look at Nebraska, and give all credit to Nebraska, what they did with Raiola was they max protected. Anytime they went play action, they max protected. So when you ask why didn't we get home when we're only sitting 4 and they got 7, that's why we're not getting home. They max protected. You didn't see a lot of blitzing from Robert Livingston. And when you did, they was in max protection, so they had it sold up on the line. So, but overall crowd wise, I was expecting it to be a little bit louder than what it was. But I don't think it affected them. It just, the moment got to some of the players.
Okay. Appreciate y'all too for that. All right, Steven, going to Steven, then Brian, then Coach Dre, then Ross. Hey, Travis Hunter. Is he a gamer? This guy he put on no matter what it is, man. He got a little frustrated, but he still showed up. Steven.
You said the key. You know what you're getting from him. You know every game he is going to perform at the highest level. It ain't no lights too bright for Travis Hunter. It's no lights. Let me say again, no lights. I could put Travis Hunter in a basketball gym and he still will be balling doing that. So that's what kind of talent that young man got. But this is what I'll tell people. Travis Hunter's best attributes is this: his mind. He outthinks everybody and outworks them. He reminds me really of my boy Money Mayweather. You're not gonna out train him, and you're not gonna outbox perform him. And that's what he does. So when you look at Travis is one of those people, and this is what I laugh at people. Well, why do they play Travis on both sides? Because he's the best. He's the best. He's better than anybody you got out there. And why would you put the best on the bench? Where did they do that at? Larry Bird never sit down. He was the best when it came to Boston. You put your superstars out there. So with that being said, when it comes to Travis, the thing is this one here. If you want to beat a man, beat the man. If you're talking all of that smack that you want other people to get him in front of Travis, beat him. And if you can't beat him, sit down and watch the show because he is a show.
All right, Brian.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, I think Travis's defense in the first 2 games is probably underrated just because the offensive numbers are so impressive right now, but he hasn't given up anything in 2 games. And, he's been really impressive as a corner. We know he's one of the best corners in the country. Here's a stat for you. Going back to last year, he has 3 straight 100-yard receiving games. The last Colorado receiver to do that was Charles Johnson in 1993.
Wow.
So it's been 31 years since the last receiver. Colorado had 3 straight 100-yard games. The only other one to do it was Michael Westbrook, who you guys have heard of. And Charles Johnson and Michael Westbrook were both pros. Obviously, Travis Hunter is going to be as well. Travis, he's phenomenal. To everybody that, like Steve said, to everybody that says, why does he play so much? Because he's awesome, and just enjoy it.
Right.
I think I grew up watching Coach Prime, and Bo Jackson was my favorite athlete growing up. And what we liked about those guys is that they did something you didn't see before. Okay. We like Shohei Ohtani because he's doing something you've never seen before, right? Travis Hunter's doing something we've never seen before. So just think and enjoy it. Stop complaining about it. And, if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. I mean, Travis has even said when he got hurt last year, he's like, look, it's football. I know you're going to get hurt at times, but I love playing the game. And so if he doesn't get bothered by it, why are we bothered by it? Just enjoy it. It's fun to watch. And as long as he can excel, I'm going to enjoy watching it.
All right, Coach Dre.
I mean, Coach Prime told you he empathy. He a once in a lifetime talent. You don't. Hey, he doesn't come around every blue moon. But here's the biggest thing that people lose. He's a way better human being than he is a football player.
Right.
And because he does the little things right, he succeeds on the football field. If people would just get that, I think people get caught up in that. Why some people ain't successful on the football field? Because you ain't doing the right things off it. You won't
Yeah.
you want to reap the benefits. That just ain't gonna happen. You got to do everything right. You got to try to live it. You got to you got. Listen, I told my boys that you got to love what you're doing and do what you love. If this ain't what you really want to do, if you here for the fame, like I told you, at the end of the day, if you take Coach Dre off of this podcast thing, I'm gonna be Coach Dre in the city. You understand me? I'm gonna still be him. So it doesn't matter. You just gotta want to do what's best. And why he's frustrated is because he giving you 120 and 130%. I need everybody to give me that.
There you
I
go.
need
There you
everybody to
go.
give me that. And so don't need to panic. You know, when it comes to 12. 12 gonna come and do his thing. Like I said, wasn't disappointed in Jimmy. The kickoff return, I thought he had warmed himself up after that. Like I say, it's just about the moments. It's about the moments. When the moment presents itself, football is this. It's real simple. Football is this. Who gonna make the most plays? Because football gonna come down to one-on-ones and who gonna make the most plays. And yesterday, Nebraska made more plays than we did in their moments. That's just it. But when it comes to Travis Hunter, he's Timothy. He's bar none the best college football player. Again, I told y'all the Heisman Trophy. The Heisman Trophy is a quarterback award. But there's no doubt who's the best college football player in the nation. His name is Travis Hunter. He plays for the Colorado
I
Buffaloes.
agree with that. I agree 100%. Go ahead, Rob.
Rob, you on mute or something?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Yeah.
now.
Okay. All right. So what I was saying is Travis Hunter was upset because the opportunity that was given to him last week, the same coverage, he got that same look this week. I'm in the red zone, and Shador didn't throw the ball up there. That's what he was upset about. So Travis just wants opportunities, man. He's trying to do everything he can to help this team win. The person I think that we didn't get involved was Jimmy Horn. Jimmy Horn was ready to go. He had that look in his eyes, man. Just give me the ball. Me and Travis gonna find a way to bring this home. And I just think we didn't implement a game plan for Jimmy Horn due to the fact of they knew they was focusing on Jimmy Horn. But Jimmy Horn, I'm telling you, if they get him the ball more yesterday, the game looks a little bit different. Because he was ready to make a big time play. He just didn't get the opportunities. But overall, Travis, man, you just got to give your hats off to Travis because he's coming there and he's focused. He know what his goal is. He know what he's trying to get done. He know what he's trying to get accomplished. He just want people to come up and step up to his level. I'm not talking about his talent. Just come out there with some fire, something in your belly, your why, your purpose.
All right. Something happened, Rob. All right, Brian, tell everybody where they can find you at. They want to listen to your content.
Yeah, you can find me at BuffZone.com and also on Twitter, Brian Howell 33.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Let you start it out, Brian. You the guest. Quarterback rating. Should do a Simon, A, B, C, or whatever. What's your rating
Is this
for
from
this
last
game?
night's game? For this game,
Yes, sir.
I'd go C, because I think he still managed to make some plays on a night when there weren't a lot of plays to be made, and he was under a lot of fire. But the pick six was a very uncharacteristic and frankly probably the worst throw I've seen him make at Colorado. Worst decision I've seen him make. That was a bad one. Coach Prime even said it. So I think you got to give him a C there. He could have been a lot better last night, but I thought he did an adequate job given what he was allowed to do last night.
All right, Steve.
C minus, and I'll say C minus because of the simple facts that Brian hit on. I'd also say this here when it comes to two. If they go two, when two is speaking with Schumer, I think they need to speak on more to keep him where he's keep his pocket clean. And if you're going to keep his pocket clean, just like Rob was saying, you got to start rolling him. Make it simple. Let's quit trying to be all complex because you can start the game off simple, and then when you get into your groove, go from there. So I give him a C. He was put in a bad situation with that that pass rush, and he still performed. So that's the sad part. Even at his worst game, he still performs at a high. If you really look at it at a very high level. So I do a C minus.
All right, Rob.
I'm giving Shador a C. There's some highs, there's some lows, there's some good, there's some bad. Overall, just him sticking in there, and still fighting in there with all the obstacles he had to face last night. I'm rolling with a C.
Coach Dre?
Yeah, I mean it's a complete C all around for me. With what he had to deal with and the way he still played, he didn't complain. Again, he doesn't go out there. He don't throw anybody under the bus. Like Brian said, that was probably one of the worst throws I've ever seen him make down there in the end zone. I think he was trying to get the ball out quick. You got to give that DB a lot of credit. He read it. He read it to the T. I won't take anything away from that quarterback in that play. He saw Shador. He saw him flip his shoulders. And when he saw his shoulders flip, he knew it was coming his way. So that was a heck of a play by that quarterback. But, he gets a C because he hung in there. He's tough as nails. No doubt about it. But he gets a C for this week.
All right, Brian. Moving on.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know. I'm not going F because I've seen worse. This was not the worst game by an offensive line I've seen, but I'm going to go D because it was not good, and it has to be better, And this is one that if you're in high school, maybe not you're maybe not ineligible with that F, but you better get that grade up, or else you're going to be ineligible. So I'll go D, but it's a very low D. What is it? Is 60% or higher a D? I would put him at like 61%.
Like 66,
Yeah.
like 65, something like that right now, Byron, in high school, like about 65, something like that.
Yeah. I'm going whatever the lowest D is. I'm not going to quite go F, but I'm going to go the lowest D possible.
Go ahead, Rob.
I'm going D. Just overall effort, attitude. It's just a D performance, man. It like a want. That's what it comes down to, a want.
All right, Coach Dre. Then Steve.
They get an I for incomplete because we didn't show up.
Okay, bro. You're offensive line coach. You ought to know, bro. Go ahead, Steve.
I'm giving a D, and the reason I say I'm giving a D, I watched all that well off and all that fighting they was doing and well off. But then you get out there against these other teams, we playing like pussycats. So you get a D right now. It ain't like they just rolled over, but I want to see some more fire, man. I want to see somebody nasty. Where is the nastiness? And I just don't see it. Those big boys for Nebraska, it was personal for them. When not only you saw it when they were celebrating after the game, it was personal for Nebraska. And when they was coming through there, you saw desire, you saw fire, you saw them pumped up. I'm watching our offensive line. They just looking at each other. So I want to see that nastiness. I want to see that fire. So it's a D.
All right, man.
I'm gonna add this that we heard all offseason they were dogs, but there's different types of dogs, right? And there's like the little yippy dogs, and there's like the pit bulls. So what kind of dogs are they? I know they're not cats, but there's different types of dogs, and we need to see different type of dog out of them than what we've seen.
Yeah, hey, this for Coach Ray. Coach Ray, you're offensive line coach. What it gonna take, bro?
I told you you got to be in the want to business. And again, I don't think they don't want to. I think again, from the beginning, I think they want to run the ball. I think we got to put our cleats in the dirt and go and get somebody off the rip. And then again, I like I say, we gotta find our best five, whatever that is.
Right.
Again, I knew we were gonna roll out with that five because that five had been together since the spring. So I knew they were gonna roll out with that five. But right now we gotta find our best five. And that's our biggest. That's the biggest key because I don't think we're far off. I don't think we need to work. I don't think we're far off. I just think we need to find our best five, and that's what we need to go with. I'm not panicking. I'm not worried. I just think we need to find our best five. Tyler Johnson is healthy. I think we have to find a way to get him on the football field, and that's just me.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But hey, hold on. Let me say this. What is the theme of this year? Like normally, as the season starts to go, you start to find a theme for a team or something. We don't got nothing. What is it? What
I mean,
if we?
what they got to do to get one?
The only the players in the locker room know what they need, right? But you gotta find something. Some it's one thing that's gotta click with everybody for this thing to start to roll like it's supposed to, and we're missing it. And you can tell it's missing, and we're trying to find what
They were
that
flat.
is.
They didn't have no energy. They were flat. I mean, it's just like I believe that moment caught up with them Saturday night, man.
I mean, it's we just have to. You got to take advantage of the moments. I think the biggest thing is, guys, we just didn't. And again, once you create the moments, okay, they go out and score. They normally kick the ball in the end zone. Jimmy gets a kickoff and almost takes it to the house. You're on the other side of the 50. You gotta take advantage of the moments. You only like they come. You had a chance
I
to go in and quiet the crowd down. If you go score right there, that's what I'm saying. So it's just the moments. You got to take advantage of the moments. That's it.
But Coach Ray, they were
but Coach
third and
Drake,
one.
this
They went third and one. Then they went fourth and two. Like they were going backwards.
I peep this though. I want you to go back, Coach Drake. When Jimmy Horn returned that kick, how much enthusiasm did you see on the sideline? How much togetherness did you see on the sideline? How much excitement did you see out of those players when it happened?
Again, I was standing up because I thought my boy was gonna take it to the house at
I
first.
did too.
So
Yeah.
I really didn't look. I thought he was gonna hit the other gear, but then I saw the dude had the angle. I was like, oh, we ain't gonna get to the end zone. We gonna get close. Guys, like bro, they together. Cause what you do see is ain't nobody throwing nobody under the bus. Everybody taking the responsibility for what they've done. Again, we just gotta we ain't gonna talk no more. We just right now it's just about we gotta show people because nobody believes it. So there's no like I told you, I'm not here to harp on it. We know what we need to work on. We just gotta get better. We gotta get better on those things. As a football coach, you ain't gonna never see me do that because like I say, I've been in those shoes. And you just gotta go, in your fox. But what you gonna find out, this is the biggest thing. You gonna find out who really wanna go in the foxhole and fight. We gonna find that out. I'm talking
Right.
about fans. I'm talking about players. I'm talking about coaches. We gonna find out who really want to go in the foxhole and fight. And
Right.
if you don't want to be in that foxhole, that's cool. You get what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
just cool. But as for me and mine, we gonna go in the foxhole and fight. And that's all there is to it.
All right. Brian, wide receiver was great.
I'm going to go B on this one because I thought overall they played pretty well. There was too many drops. LeJohntay was a big culprit in that one, but Travis was special. I think Jimmy didn't catch as many passes as obviously the week before, but I don't think that was his fault. And we got to see some nice things out of Will Shepherd. So I think overall, as a group, because of what really mainly by Travis, but I'll give him a B.
Okay. Go ahead, Rob.
I'm going to C. I think we could have stepped up and helped out a little bit more overall, but it was way too many drops than normal. Way too many drops than normal. But that just come down to focus. Just calm down, relax. Just catch the ball first and then go react and play football. I just didn't think we came out with the level of intensity that we need to have at the wide receiver group. So I'm going to see you.
Coach Dre, then Steven.
I got a B minus. I'm with Brian. I like the way that we played. Like I say, LeJohn didn't have his best game. Some drops. Like I say, it's about the moments. We gotta answer those moments. But Travis came to play. I think Jimmy came to play. We saw what we needed to see out of Will Shepherd. I need to see a Marion Miller. Marion Miller needs. I need to see him. I need to see him.
Good
I
point.
need
Good
to see
point.
a Marion Miller.
Good point.
But for right now, I got to be minus.
Now, I will say this though, to the wide receiver group, I might have to bump this up to a B minus just due to the fact they made some catches that the refs called incomplete on some sidelines. That was catches. So I got to take some of that back. That they completed some passes that it was some questionable by the referee last night, but I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, but
I will add too. There was that one to Jimmy where he
That's a
legitimately
catch.
was
yeah, I
out.
was definitely
That was
say
a
that.
Nah,
Yeah,
he.
And that was
yeah.
the
I think
first down.
I do think he was legitimately out, but you could debate that or not. But Jimmy made a spectacular play, in or out. He did his job and made a spectacular play there, and he was like that close.
Well, I'm at my house on that play, and we bid it in slow motion. His foot was down. All you need is one toe, and he had the ball. It's a catch anywhere else I've seen it, but it is what it is. What you have to do is make sure you take it out the referee's hands. I'm going with the B minus, and the reason I'm going with the B minus is because of the fact that Travis and Shepard made plays. When the ball went to him, they made plays. The other one, Jimmy had his opportunities, and that play would have been big. That first down for 22 yards, that would have been a huge play. It's just the drops. If they cut down on the drops, we cooking with Crisco because those are first downs. And every time you have those stalls on those first downs, that hurts the team. And it's demoralizing when you got people that we're saying these are NFL type players we're talking about. We shouldn't see that. If you're telling me you're ready for the NFL, what you saw in Nebraska is nothing compared to that next level. So let's get ready.
Coach Dre, why do other teams run a drag route in us and we can't run a drag route?
We run
That's
the
a quick
crossing
way
route
to get.
instead of the
That's a
drag.
quick way to get the
So
ball out of your hand.
it is, but you still gotta come across. Again, a drag route you need more than got there in 2 seconds. And right when they bring in more than you can block, and it ain't 2 seconds, you got to get to the other side of the field so he can see you.
Why not
So
take a
that's why
wide
I say
receiver
you
off the
got to
field and
roll
put a
out.
tight
That's
end
why
there?
sometimes, again, I'm not saying that I don't agree with you. I'm not saying that I don't agree with you, but I ain't in that room making them calls. But what I'm telling you is that we run the crossing routes. And like I said, that's what LeJohn. I think LeJohn was coming. They was running the deep cross, and when he was open, and we was saying, we was gonna hit him right there. So it's just a different type of route. It depends on how deep you want to run it. You get what I'm saying? But again, I was told that the necessary changes are being made, so I'm rocking with that. That the
All
necessary
right,
changes were being made, and I'm rocking with that.
all right. Here we go. All right, Brian, running back room.
I gotta give
Okay.
him an eye, man. I mean, it's hard to really grade the running back room when they ain't getting opportunity. When they did get opportunity, now there's some things I disagree with the 4th and 1 with Charlie being in there. I completely disagree play calling wise on that part. I just want to see them put the right players in the right position. If we're gonna go short yardage, put a short yardage back in, give Michael the goddamn on ball, and let's see what he can do. Right? We've been raving them, and they've been talking about this kid and when it's the right opportunity and pass blocking. Well, we don't need him to pass block. We need him to run the ball. And when we get those opportunities in short yardage, why is he running the ball? Right? That's a perfect opportunity for him to go put his pass and go run through somebody and go get us that 1 yard that we need. But overall, I'm gonna give an eye to the running back room. I just don't think it's enough data to really give a true estimated grade on them.
Yeah, I would probably agree because I think a lot of it's not their fault, and last night they're 2 for 5 on 3rd or 4th and short runs, and what the two that they got were Isaiah August saved late in the game. And so, hey, your biggest back, you give it to him on 3rd and short, and he gets a first down. Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
That first run of the game, 4th and 1, you give it to your smallest running back, Charlie Offerdahl. And I love the kid. He's a great story. But let's be honest, a year ago, he was part of this running back room, and you trusted him for 2 carries the entire season, and now he's your starter. I don't buy that. And like he's not their starter. And I love the kid, but you've got to move on from that. And I think Dallin Hayden's got to be your guy. I think Isaiah Augustave needs carries. I think Micah Welch, last week after the game against North Dakota State, Coach Prime said, I want to get him in the game because he runs so tough, but then they scored another touchdown. So we didn't. I'm like, isn't that when you want your tough running back in the game, right? And if he runs so tough, why is he not the guy running the ball on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1? That's what I want my toughest running back, right? And so I'm just surprised that Micah Welch has not carried the ball through the first 2 games. I want to see him. So this is a long-winded I, but I'm going to agree with Rob. It's an I because I think this running back group, I think, is better than what they've been able to show through the first 2 weeks. I just don't think they're giving opportunities. I mean, he had 9 carries. Or no, it was 11 carries for running backs last night. That's insane.
Yeah, it was 12. Yeah, you're right. Go ahead, Steve.
I'm following suit. I can't grade a group of young men who haven't had the opportunity to perform at the highest level, and then who also wasn't put in a position to succeed. Me personally, I don't think they've been put into a position to succeed. And the reason I say that is because, number one, you got to put the right personnel out there. That's the first thing.
Right.
You put your horse out there. We can go any direction we want to. The Rudy show is over with. You put your horse out there, number one. The second thing you need to do, you put a scheme together where if you see a defense and their strength, you got 2 330-pound dudes who are going to the NFL in the middle. Why do we go to the middle? Let's go on the outside. Let's do something a little different. So that's go with scheme to me. And they haven't had that opportunity for that. And then the third thing I would say, they run away from the run too fast. If they get a fingernail, let's pass the ball. Let's stop that. Run the ball, consistency. Let's give these young men an opportunity. It's a shame in high school, all of these guys, 1,000 yards, all this in high school. And now all of a sudden they forgot how to run. I'm not buying it. It just don't happen. Too much talent. So I'll just say that. I'm not grading them until they get the proper opportunity to go out there and do it.
I just want to add one other thing is that, it was the same thing last year. And you look at Anthony Hankerson. Have you guys noticed what he's done at Oregon State?
Right.
Anthony Hankerson's a really good running back. I liked him from the time he got here 2 years ago. Have you seen what Dylan Edwards has done? Those 2 kids, they were their top 2 rushers last year, combined for 2 rushing touchdowns last season. They've got 5 between them 2 weeks into the season. So, yes, these guys can play. Not only those guys last year, but the guys they have this year. I just want to see them.
Good point. Good point, fellas. Good point. All right, let's move to the defensive side.
Coach Drake got an answer. All right.
He didn't answer.
No.
Go ahead, Coach Drake.
We good.
All
I mean, like on the report card, on the reports card, sometime in the class, you just got there and they didn't. So, like you say, you don't have enough to grade them. That's what I'm going with. We just ain't got enough to grade them right now. They ain't did nothing wrong. They ain't did nothing. They ain't did nothing bad. We just ain't got enough to grade them. So, we just gotta do better. We gotta get better right now. We gotta get better. Like you say, I'm with everybody. I think 7 need to be in the backfield to start. But I know the way Coach Prime operates. So he feels he reward the people that, like I say, that means somebody not doing the little things right. But after a while, I know what people gonna say. But that's what it comes down to with him. And so, but right now we don't have enough to grade the running back. So let's go to the defensive line.
All right. Go ahead, Brian. Defense, then Coach Dre, then Rob, then Steven.
Yeah, I'll probably go B- on this. I think they're doing a good job against the run overall. And Nebraska loves to run the ball, and they didn't get a ton on the ground. They didn't get as much as maybe they thought they were going to get, or as much as we thought they might get. So I think they're doing a good job against the run. And That's been one of the keys of the defense so far. I'm only going to go B- because they're not getting that pass rush that I think we need right now. But I think they've been, if not the strength, one of the strengths of the defense and maybe of the team so far.
I'm going B- as well. The pass rush is definitely a key. But they did go a lot of mass protections to help their quarterback too also. So I think we did a great job, taking on two offensive linemen at that time when they did try to do anything. So I got to go B- with it.
Let's go, Trey.
Yeah, that's what I got a B minus, and like I say, it'd probably be a B plus if we had a little better pass rush. So B minus. The interior, them interior tackles, those 1 and 3 techniques are playing their behinds off. No ifs, ands, and buts about it right now. Them 1 and 3 techniques are playing their behinds off. So if we can get them edge rushers to come on and get it together, give us a little more work. But like I said, I believe in Coach Dancy. I believe in Sapp and Lewis. I think they'll get it together. But so for right now, it's a B minus.
All right, Steven.
I'm going with a C plus. The reason I'm going with a C plus is because of this. Those edges have too much talent to be performing the way they are. The DTs, not a problem. They are on point. If it was just DTs, it would be a B plus. But because of the edges and the expectations of you're talking about NFL style players. You're talking about NFL talent. When I'm talking about NFL talents, I'm not giving you you're not going to have a grading scale where I grade a little on this side saying, well, blah. These is NFL talent, and they should be getting to the ball more, and they should be more disciplined. You should be staying in your lanes, and you should be doing your assignment. Not I'm coming inside trying to get a sack instead of staying on the outside, and the sack will come to you. So those are the things I'm grading down on. But what I will say is this here. It's going to get better. I see sunshine when it comes to this here. It's going to get better, and we're going to start grading them higher. But it's going to be fair to us to let them know our expectations for you are high. We're not going to lower our expectations because of your performance. Either you meet it or we're going to continue to talk about it.
All right, Steven, jump back in there that linebacker group. Then Brian.
This is where you I'm gonna get it. Oh my goodness. If it goes with the coaches putting linebackers in there, I'm doing an F. Because to me, I need the best guys in there. And what I'm saying is this here. I'm going by the last, if we're going by the last 2 quarters in both games, because you got tape. If we're going by the last 2 quarters in both games where they really didn't score anything in 4 quarters other than 6 points, why aren't those people who are in at that time starting the game at linebacker? And I'm going to leave it as that.
All right, Brian. Go ahead,
Okay.
Brian.
If Levonta Bentley caught that interception, I'd go B plus. he didn't. I'm going to go C plus. I thought overall they played okay. I like Levonta Bentley's game. I think he's a really good player. I think he's having a good season so far. Nakai Hill-Green, I thought, did an adequate job last night. But they dropped an interception that turned into a touchdown, and Trevor Woods got ejected for targeting. And I think that's the 3rd or 4th time in his career he's done that. And by this point in time, he's got to learn how to do that. And I know that's a tough call, but when you have the dropped interception and the guy ejected, I got to go C plus.
Go ahead, Rob.
I'm gonna go B minus. Overall, I feel good with the linebackers, especially Hill-Green. I feel like Hill-Green and Bentley played a tremendous game. But when they're not in the game, the linebackers that do come in, they got to step up and they got to match it. When Hill-Green went to go hit somebody, you heard that hit. You heard it. It wasn't no mistake. 41 hits you. Bentley, he came down and was in the run game. What we asked from the linebackers, go fill the holes. If the D line is doing their job, go fill the holes and make plays. The D line, this is it's a tremendous help from the D line when Kempson and Craig can come in there and just go blow something up in the backfield and have 3 tackles for loss. That means the D line doing their job. The linebackers are doing their job. And so we're getting better in that aspect. Now it's just we got to match that same energy when it's on passing downs with our linebackers, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, I just got to see a normal C. Like you say, Hill Green, that's my guy. Uh, that's who I feel needs to be on the field. I think he needs to start. And like I say, I think he will. He probably gonna have to start this week because Trevor can't play in the first 2 quarters or something like
Right.
that. So he'll
He
he'll
can
be out
play.
there.
Trevor can play because his
Huh?
targeting was the first half. Trevor can play because his targeting was first half.
Okay, okay,
So
I
so
didn't know
yeah,
that part. Okay,
yep.
but he still need to be whenever 41 tired or something. But I will be going with him and Bentley. Bentley he is the leader. He's the leader on that defense right now. He shows it. Like Brian said, it probably would be a B plus if he catches the pick six. So
Right.
it's a C because we playing average football. We playing above average football right now. So I just got a C right now.
Here's what we need from the defense: just minimize everything first half and get to the second half where we can make it, where we can make adjustments, and we'll be just fine.
Go ahead, Brian.
I'm actually going to go A on this one. I like the way they played last night, and you look at what Nebraska did on offense, and Raiola, he's a good young quarterback. He only threw for 185 yards, and a lot of that was to running backs. The receivers didn't do much against the Buffs last night, and safety Cam Craig was the player of the game on defense, in my opinion.
Ooh,
And
boy.
and Shiloh goes out, and I'll say this. Carter Stoutmeyer came in, and I didn't feel like there was any drop off at all. I mean, I think Carter Stoutmeyer, I don't know if people agree with me, but he might be as good as Shiloh, and and he's a young player. I think his ceiling is really high. I liked what he did last night. I'm gonna go A on the DBs. I thought they were really good.
I'm going A minus. I think DJ could have took a couple interceptions if he just turns his head on the ball. I feel like he could have made a couple plays on the ball. And they got us some passes, but overall, the corners they stood up. You didn't see no catches given up from Preston Hodge last night. They wouldn't even throw at Travis. So when they need to make a big time throw, a big time pass, it was going to a running back out in space. So, that was really on the linebacker communication wise. But overall, I gotta, what we did on the DBs, I love it. I love it. So I gotta go A. I'm going A minus.
Coach Ray.
Hey, yeah, we get an A. We get an A back there. Silver Craig, the kid from the HBCU that people said couldn't play. He just keeps showing up. He just keeps showing up and showing you that what hard. So when you say that hard work and determination don't get it, you just look at all I'm gonna tell you is look at 7. Uh,
Hmm.
like you say, you're not throwing at Travis. We got another solid corner over there that I feel comfortable with. Uh, like you say, hey, Stoudemire was playing as a true freshman. He wasn't playing for no reason, guys. He wasn't
Right.
playing for no reason. It was a reason the kid was on the field. He can play the game of football at a high level. And he probably gonna have to. He probably gonna have to reign. He gonna probably have to take that role on with Shiloh being hurt the way he is. So yeah, they get an A for me.
I forgot to mention, Carter Stoudemire from at the beginning of fall camp was hurt, coming back off an injury. So to come back off an injury and to get bumped up behind Charlotte, that's tremendous of how much hard work that he put in throughout the off season because he was hurt at the beginning of the fall camp.
I'm giving him an A. Stoudemire just ain't the future of CU. He's the right now. Stoudemire gonna make plays where I truly think, Brian, I think you hit the nail with this one here. Stoudemire's gonna get to the ball. And when I mean get to the ball, he ain't gonna just hit somebody. I'm talking about interceptions. That's where I'm going with it. And he's very physical. And if you watch the game last night and even the first game, look how physical our DBs are. And you had 3 or 4 holding calls. If you look at both games, I think like 4 holding calls against the offense because the DBs are so physical. Hodge was held to such a point he almost took his uniform off. So McKinney comes up, he's very physical. Travis coming up popping people. So I like what I see back there. And the future is bright for that one. I love to see a little more hood in there, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. Very physical. They play that unit plays as a team. They are committed. I don't see no people trying to outdo each other. If we can get those edges to go in like those DBs, we got something.
Well, and don't forget, Carter played last year as a corner.
Cornerback.
You know, so he's really a big corner playing safety, and so he's a pretty good cover guy. You know, and a lot of times those safeties are, you know, they come downhill and you know, they're big in the run game. Stoudemire's a big corner, so I love him in that safety.
Right.
But shout out to Robert Livingston for making that move.
Yeah, I agree on that. All right, last one. Hold on. That's all right. Never mind.
Did you do
Hey,
special teams?
yeah, I want to talk about Cameron Cimarron Craig. Coach Ray, that dude's out there, small as he is, boy, he put his body on the line, dog. He, boy, he is so hard out there, man. I said, he just came out for injury the first game, right?
Yeah, he was he was injured. I think concussion protocol or whatever. Hey, he's just a dog. He's the
He is, boy.
definition of
He is
dog.
him.
He's by every stretch of the imagination. A kid that they said wouldn't go get a scholarship. Kid that they said, oh, well, he at HBCU, he ain't gonna play. He started as a freshman. Oh, he gonna follow Coach Prime to Colorado to sit the bench. And when people go to saying, oh, he didn't start. He had to wait his turn. He bought his time. He kept working. He never cried. He never complained. And when you gave me my opportunity, I kicked the door in. That's what he's the definition of dog. And he's showing it every time he gets out there. He's what I told y'all. How you gonna stand on business if you ain't got no purpose? You can't. Everybody want to holler about you standing on business, and you can't stand on business if you ain't got no purpose. And if you listen to that kid's story and listen to what he's trying to get to, he has a purpose, and he shows it every time he gets out there on the football field that I'm here for a purpose. I'm trying to get to where I'm going, and I ain't letting nobody stop me. He is the real definition of dog.
Appreciate it, Coach Ray. All right, hey, we got about 10 more minutes, and we're gonna end this thing. I want to thank Brian for being our guest tonight, and we appreciate you sacrificing your time and come up being with us on this night. But check this out. We getting ready to go to the next game. We 1-1. Gonna play Colorado State University. Start off, Brian? What do Colorado need to do offensively to help them win this game?
First thing is they got to get Cameron Silma-Craig to talk to those offensive linemen, because if they play like Cameron Silma-Craig, they're going to be just fine. But yeah, you know, I'm not too worried. It's one game. You know, like I was saying earlier, they went into it. That was a really tough environment. You know, that was Nebraska in a lot of ways. Their Super Bowl, because they have been waiting for you for a while to get back in their arena, and they were going to take you down. These next 2 weeks to me define the season for Colorado, because you have to beat Colorado State, and you really have to beat Baylor, because Baylor, if you want to make any sort of run in the Big 12, and I'm not trying to disrespect Baylor, but they are looked at as the bottom rung of the Big 12, right? And you get them at your place in Boulder. So these next 2 weeks, honestly, if Colorado's not 3-1, I'll be worried, because I think they have to win these next 2 games. From there's some tough matchups, and we'll, you know, obviously that'll come later, but you got to win these first 2 games. And so I expect Colorado to come out and play a good game this Saturday. Last year they didn't really respond to adversity very well. We keep hearing this team is different. They got something to prove this week, because they need to prove they're different. And if they are, they're going to come out and take it to Colorado State, because they're more talented, and they should whoop up on Colorado State. And and I don't know if you guys have heard this, but Colorado State might be without their star receiver Torrey Horton, who got hurt last night, and we'll see how bad it is. But whether he plays or not, I think Colorado should win this game.
Go ahead, Coach Drake, then Rod, and Steve.
Again, I told you. Now you find out what you really made of. Now you find out Again, you're gonna find out who really here for the real deal. But again, it's every week you want to be 1-0. So now today when we turn that film on and we watch that film, after we corrected ourselves, we throw that away. We throw that away in our mind. It's on to the next one. That's all we can do. We can't worry about yesterday. We got to live in the moment. So the moment
Right.
now is for us to get ready for Colorado State. Pick our heads up. I tell people all the time, and that's my thing with being positive. I'm not saying that everything is gonna be green or everything is gonna be positive every day. But I tell people, I'm gonna tell y'all this again. Everybody want to see a rainbow, but to get to a rainbow, you gotta have some rain. If it was easy, everybody would do it. If this was easy, everybody signed up to play football. It ain't easy. Wins don't come easy. I was undefeated, a defending national championship, and I still had to deal with parents want to know about this, and that. It ain't easy winning. Just because you win it don't solve all your problems. It's a price that comes with winning football games. But at the end of the day, we just gotta forget about what happened yesterday. We gotta put our helmets on. We gotta put our shoulder pads back on. We gotta go out here and go to work. And that goes for everybody. But you gotta forget. You can't live in the past. You can't live in what happened last night because that you can't gain that back. And then you got to give Nebraska their props. They came
Yeah.
out. They played. The environment was what it was. The environment was what it was, and it lived up to everything we thought it was gonna be. But now we got to move on and get. We want to be 1-0 next. We want to be 1-0 next Saturday. That's always the goal, to be 1-0.
Go ahead, Mr. Steve.
Okay, what I want to see is this. I want to see Rocky 3. I want to see Clubber Lane. And I want to see Clubber Lane come out there on that first fight, come out there and tell Rocky Balboa, I'm gonna hit you in the mouth and then I'm gonna hit you again. And I pity the fool. And if I don't see that, it's gonna tell me everything I need to know. And Brian, you are 1,000%. To me, the next 3 games, we need to. It would be very impressive to win the next 3 games. And I think we're gonna start off this week because it's going to be personal. The things that coach's wife and child said about Shador now, this should be a game. We need to put a 60 piece on them on this game. We need to look like 60s. If Texas put 50 something on them, we need to be looking for 60. So this is a game we should come in there. We should be on fire. You shouldn't have no problem this week getting these young men ready to play because CSU is coming to play. Now, they didn't do anything against Texas, but I can tell Colorado this. They are going to be ready to play. That coach can get them fired up for this game. I want to see the same intensity, and I think I'm going to see it. I think we're going to come back on this game here, and we're going to say, wow, that's the CU we've been anticipating, and that's what we got. So that's what I'm looking for.
One thing about this game, there ain't nothing to get up for. It's already written. It's already there. You got to come out this week and dominate at practice. The hell with the game right now. Just put it together in practice. Go out and have great practices. Be focused at practice. Have you get your mental right at practice. Because this is another game that we should win. Right? Another rivalry game, back-to-back rivalry games. Well, this is the game we should win. Don't go out and lose this game. Because if you think what happened in Nebraska is something, lose this game to CSU. And you're going to feel everything that everybody in Colorado, you're going to feel it. It ain't going to be pretty. But this is a game we shouldn't lose. This is a game we should take care of business. And what happened yesterday is over with. It's a new week. CSU, there ain't nothing else to talk about. Jake Norvell pitch is probably somewhere right now because I know everybody the man that said he ain't had nothing good to say about you. So, hey, it ain't nothing else to talk about. Let's go put the pads on, put the cleats on, put the jerseys on, and let's play ball.
All right. I appreciate y'all, everybody who for tuning in. They're gonna be our show tonight, and we're gonna do a last word, and we're gonna get out of here. But the NFL started today. I saw Coach Ray Boy throw a 60-yard touchdown, boy. Boy, your boy, he threw that thing, man. He threw that thing. I got to give it to him. I don't know what Denver did. Did Denver win, Brandon?
I have no idea. I spent all day driving home from Lincoln.
Oh,
Get
you
off.
drove to me.
Yeah,
Oh man,
I
you
spent all
should have
day in the
told me,
car.
man. Oh man, hey, salute to you, bro. Appreciate you for driving all the way just to be with us, man. I appreciate it, man. But
Yeah, no problem.
after the Richardson, man, he threw a pass, man. It dude almost failed. He threw that thing about 60 yards, man. And I said, God. First thing I do, I thought about Coach Drake. I started to call you, man. So how your team do Friday night, Coach Drake?
That's my man. You know, I can't talk about it much because I get choked up. That's my guy. He been through hell and back, and that's why I tell people, you done been through the storm. We been through hell and back. People told us we wasn't gonna never be there. If you go to East Side, you won't never go to college. You won't never get a D1 school. Or you go to Florida, you ain't gonna never play. You ain't gonna never start. Or you ain't gonna never be a first round draft pick to be the highest draft pick ever from this city. So we know what we know what we can do. We just them boys from East Side. Y'all heard what I said. We just them boys from East Side of town, baby. And we go out there and we do what we do. When he was in the quarterback elite, I flat footed, he threw the ball 70 yards, flat footed. So that was just something but
That was light.
I was gritted from Italy. I'm proud of him. Uh, I'm proud of him. He doing big things and he doing it the right way. He just becoming a father, finna become a husband. So, I'm so proud of that kid and what he's become as a man. I can, I know what he's doing on the football field, but what he's doing as a man, that's what makes Coach smile every day. So I'm darn proud of him.
All right, man. Appreciate that, man. Hey, once again, we want to thank everybody for watching Sports Talk with BWatts Entertainment. We want to thank the sponsor tonight also for bringing you this broadcast. We want to thank everybody in the chat and everybody that tuned in. We want to thank RobDaManMedia along with Coach Drake and Steve Woodland and our guest, Brian Howell of BuffZone.com. I read some stuff out there earlier this morning. Did some good stuff, man. You do a good job. I pray that God continue to bless you and your family, and y'all keep doing what y'all do and representing Denver, Colorado area and the Colorado Buffalo. So I give you a last word, Brian, and we're gonna go around the horn and we're gonna end this time.
Last word is don't panic too much after one game. There's a lot of season left, and like we said, these next two games are really going to define the season. There's a lot to play for Colorado. Everything's out in front of them, and these next two games are going to be big. So stick with them because I think this week kind of gets them back on track.
Go ahead, Rob.
Like Brian said, I think this week gets us back on track. I'll be traveling tomorrow, so tomorrow we'll have a show, but it'll be a super short show tomorrow. But I'll be traveling, leaving Nebraska because I'm still in Nebraska right now, so I'll be leaving tomorrow.
Go ahead, Steve.
I want to thank everybody out there in podcast land. B How, I enjoy your show. You are very honest with people, and you give a great point of view on what goes on with CU, their rich history, and all of those things. Thank you, B Watts, for having such a diverse show of letting everybody come together and be able to put their point of views together, and that's what makes their podcast a great thing. So. Thank you, everybody out there. You didn't have to be here tonight. We appreciate you always supporting, and everybody is important. And even if it's just one person watching, we thank you. And have a good night and enjoy yourself. And it's back at you, Coach.
All right, before Coach Drake in, once again, I thank everybody. We're gonna try to get Brian on a Tuesday night and on a Wednesday night. Sometimes moving forward, but like I say, I appreciate each and one of y'all for being a part of the panel. And on Tuesday, me and Steven will be coming back to y'all at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Got a good show lined up here. We're going to talk about something different. And this Wednesday, me and Coach Drake will have a one-on-one. I'm gonna put his foot to the fire on a couple of things. I didn't want to do it on the panel, but I'm gonna bring some smoke to him on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Supposed to have a guest, supposed to be a player. We'll see how that turn out. But Coach Drake, it's on you, dog. Close us out. Once again, thank y'all, brothers. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Brian.
Uh,
I'll send your
as
email.
always,
Appreciate you.
Brian, we appreciate you coming out, Brian. We appreciate you rocking with us. Hey man, before you lay you down your head on your pillow tonight, make sure you pray for them people. And you pray for your kids. Touch your kids. Make sure they okay. Sending thoughts and prayers to Georgia. these school shootings and stuff, they got to stop. Kids should be able to go to school and feel safe, and our parents shouldn't have to worry if you're sending your kid to school if they go come home to you or not. So we gotta come together. This was a great. I'm glad Brian came on here, because you can show that we can come together, talk sports, be cordial, be respectful to one another, and show each other that respect. And as I always tell you, man, if you send no ships out, no ships will come in. And if there's no contest, nobody can win. Games can't be won if they haven't been played, and prayers can't be answered if they haven't been prayed. I am your man, Coach Drake. That is my brother, Rob the Man. That is my brother, B. Watts. My only uncle, Uncle Steve, and my guy, Brian Howell. We appreciate you. We'll see y'all next Sunday.
Good night, fellas. Watching Sports Talk with BWatts Entertainment. I'm your host, Bernard Watt.
Wizard.
Listen. Toward him. Get your ass up here. Stop all the bullshit. Go, goddammit. Come on, get out the way, bro.
See, I just go out there and play. I don't really care about the rankings. I just go out there and show people that I can do whatever I want. I can really play. I can play offense. I can play defense. If you need me to play quarterback, I can play quarterback. I'm all over the field. And
Building a foundation.
Get locked in. I don't give a fuck about you being fatigued, because this is what it's going to be in the game. It's going to be hot. It's going to be heavy. We're going to be breathing hard. You got to focus and get the job done. Y'all understand where I'm coming from? Sir. Fatigue make cows out of all of us if you let it. Don't let it. Dig deep and work. Work. That's all we got. Work. Work don't give a it just want to get done. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It just want to get done, so let's done.
I'm telling you, rabbit, bro, we hunting. We got to buckle up, right? We got to play hard nose. But if I'm saying bird, that's pass. Right? So now you can get loose. You can wiggle with them. But that's ownership. If I don't tell you nothing else, ain't ownership in the game.
Now that hope has elapsed, it's time for expectation. And I hope you're sitting there with expectation that when you pull into the stadium or you turn on that television, that we're going to give you what you desire.
Sports Talk with BWatts Entertainment. I'm your host, Bernard Watt.
We see.